Namaskaram, I am Saravanan. What is past life regression? If you ask me, there are three types of pasts that influence our life. Let us start from the conception, from the period of conception. And then we'll end with how death happens and what happens between death and the next birth. When you're growing in the womb of the mother, the basic physical material from which our body has been made is from the mother, the flesh, the tissues and the blood. What we call as the genetic material is also from the mother and the father. The genetic material, it's scientifically proven that it influences all our qualities, characteristics, behavioral patterns and also our destiny. Right. So basically, if our decisions, habits, thoughts and emotions are decided by the genetic material, our characteristics, our personality is decided by the genetic material and we get it from our parents, it basically means the past is actually making us and we are actually growing inside the shell of the past. And whatever we express will be through the shell. If you imagine yourself as a lamp or a light or a flame covered by a shell, the shell can be considered as the genetic material or the impressions we have taken from the physical material from the mother. All those form. And when you are growing in the womb, the mother actually experiences a lot of emotions because she is naturally in a situation where so many things happen. Good things, bad things, happiness, unhappiness, positive thoughts, negative thoughts, emotions, everything. All this create a change in her body, change in her neurology, endocrinology, and every time change happens, there is a change that happens within the system. And that is one reason why we say pregnant women normally are supposed to be kept in a very happy place where they are internally happy. That's number one. So, the fundamental physical material, the genetic material, the psychological material has been derived from our parents and we start looking through that filter the moment we come out and start experiencing the world. So that is one past, the past from our parents. Second, your father was also in the womb of his mother. Your mother was also in the womb of her mother. And the cycle continues, which means your mother would have derived impressions and genetic material from her mother, same with your father. And it's their genetic material has made our genetic material, right? So, ancestral influence. Ancestral influence influences our decisions. Yes or no? That is why in Indian spirituality, they say that destiny for a person is actually decided by 9 generations. 9 generations. You are a result of the influence of 9 generations before you. If you do the calculation, actually it will be mind-boggling. You have one father, one mother, your father as a father and mother, your mother as a father and mother. You just make the calculation. So what we are now is the result of the influence of so many people. They are sitting in our body, influencing everything including the color of our skin, our characteristics and qualities. And we are not aware of that. That's one past. Second, as we start growing as a child, there are so many influences that influence our decision-making process. So we have the genetic material, the emotional material, and the moment we come out, the behavior of our parents, of our caretakers, of our schooling, early friendship, teachers, everything starts molding our decisions, molding our beliefs, molding our own character. We just don't know. Because for the first few months, language has not fully developed. We just emote. Your caretakers hold you with love. You feel that, yes, I am loved. Suddenly they drop you and go. You feel actually scared. Think, oh, maybe he or she doesn't like me. There's a feeling of rejection. So it's a mix of all this. And all of us know there's so much trauma, so much of helplessness that happens as a child by sheer fact that we are very small, psychologically so small and immature that we just don't know. We are at the mercy of people who are taller, larger, influential, powerful than others. And the way in which we have perceived them determines our character. Now people may ask, so is it my parents who decide my future? No, it's not like that. If we take twins, they have the same mother, the environment was same, But both of them perceive the situation differently, which means they have come from with their own material. It's their own individual material. Each twin has his or her own material, and that material perceives the material provided, the behavior of the parents and caretakers, and it makes a new, I would say, soup through which they see. So it is not just the parents, but also the material which I have brought in. Who says that? It is not just Indian psychology which says that, even Western psychology says that. Carl Jung says we have not been born as an empty slate, because before that, in Western psychology, it was believed that all of us are born with an empty slate, and whatever is written on that becomes our destiny. But Carl Jung says that no, we are not born as a tabula rasa, which means we come in with a slate in which something is already written, which is what we call as impression of the past life. If you look at Indian spirituality, Sri Krishna clearly says there is a soul which is inside the baby grows to become an adult, old age, and dies. And just as the baby changes clothes and your clothes and behavior change as you grow older and then dies, this soul moves into a new body in the next birth. And for the soul, there is no death. So past life is documented in the Bhagavad Gita. It is believed that 30 to 40% of people worldwide believe in past life. There is a school in Western psychology which still believes in past life. Now, even in yoga, it is said that even before you come out of your mother's womb, your destiny is decided by you. And we have so many philosophies, spiritual texts which talk about past life. Now, let's come back to our story here. So, as a child, so many impressions, so many beliefs, everything consolidate, survival patterns develop, and they form the second influence as you move into an adulthood. Once you are an adult, by and large we tend to believe that life is under our control. Actually, it happens from teenage. But by the time you reach 35, 40 years, sometimes you start wondering, things are not happening the way in which I want. And if you start analyzing, you will understand or maybe even realize that most of your actions and beliefs have been developed since the time you were a child. Right? So, childhood, which means from the time you are born till you are now, so many decisions have been taken by you, so many beliefs have been developed, all those start influencing your present and impacting your behavior. There is a second influence which happens, that's what we call as inner child work or inner child trauma release or whatever. So that's the second path that influences. Now a person grows older, physical body dies, the breath moves out. Now what happens to the mind? Because you have a soul, it's there, most of us believe, and the soul is unmanifest. This is what Gita says. It's unmanifest, it's just there inside as a bliss body. And there are impressions around the soul, the mental impressions, the manomaya kosha. The manomaya kosha, which is the mental body, stores all the memory, all the impressions, all the emotions, consolidated as one solid emotional layer with multiple frequencies or whatever you call, based on the frequency of the mind, which leaves the body, it gets attracted into one more womb. Because if you have not done sufficient practice where I can just manage my emotions well, then the moment death happens, then these emotions start fluttering, tearing up. If you read the Tibetan Book of the Dead, you'll understand how the emotions draw a person or break a person after death and somehow lands up in another womb based on the frequency of the mind. Which means based on how life was lived in this life, the mind that moves out has a certain frequency, certain vibration, and that vibration matches with one more vibration and enters the womb, which again is corroborated by Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Because Arjuna asks, you ask me to be with so much discipline, to live life with, I would say, so much of consciousness. And when I start living life with so much of discipline and consciousness, I may not enjoy what others are enjoying. And what will happen if I do not realize who I am before I die? I would have lost even the pleasures of life which others have got, just because I am in the spiritual path. Sri Krishna says, yeah, your doubt is valid, right? But one thing is sure, that if you live a disciplined life fully conscious as per certain guidelines, going through it, then the vibrations, the inner vibration of yours will help you to land in a family which will be more conducive for a growth again. So it's like this. Assume you live in a society where education or the marks you get in your school is valued more. You work very hard, some get 100, some get 95, some get 90, whatever. Based on the marks, you get entry into a college. That's all. Yes, sir? Correct. It's like that. So based on your mental vibration. Of course, today you have financial factors also entering in. So leaving that out, based on the marks, you are valued. Some people may ask, so he got 80, he got a better college because he had money. It's okay, it happens in a normal society where financial factor also influences success and where you are. But when it comes to life, death is actually very just. That's why it's called Yama Dharma. Right? Yudhishthira is supposed to be the son of Yamadeva and he acts as per Dharma. Death is a leveler, which means no matter who you are, the vibrations that you carry at the time of death, the vibrations that come out of the body, the vibrations that dominate the mind will determine the next birth as per the Bhagavad Gita. So death is a leveler. And then life continues. So this is how our life is influenced today. One, by what we did in the past life. Past life means the life before we were born as a human being in this life. Our past life. Number two, our ancestors. And number three, the decisions we took as a child. All these three influence our life. When we talk about past life exploration, we are talking about clearing the mental impressions, the emotional impressions, and the energy stuckness at all these three levels. Yes, if you do that, there is a specific process for that. Many people ask how to break this pattern, how to become free. Is past life regression the only way to do it? I will say no. But to break free from the past, there are many methods. We have Hatha Yoga practice, we have mindfulness practices, consciousness practices. And past life regression is also one of the methods which has been derived from certain yogic tools. Yes, though it has come from the West, got popularized because of the West, it's a deep psychology. It is embedded in the principles of yoga. Because yoga clearly states, in fact, when you go to the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, it's clearly said that when the present situation is overwhelming, the past takes over. Which means you go into a room, you find a rope in the shape of a snake, you're not conscious of it, you suddenly jump and think it's a snake. Then you realize it's a rope. That's because maybe sometime in the past, there was a snake of this color and the rope triggered the past memory of the snake in your mind and made you jump. Which means the past has taken over the present. Thus, when it comes to past life exploration or past life regression, we should understand that we are not going back to the past. If we take the same example, I see a rope, I jump. Am I going back to the past? No. The past memory automatically gets activated and starts making me behave in a certain way, which means the past is alive. Past is alive, kicking and influencing our lives. We could have achieved many things in our life, successful, happy, right, but still there are certain areas where we may feel stuck. It can be in relationships, it can be in health, it can also be in career, wherever. A lot of stuckness, sadness, and maybe an inner tightness. There are many reasons why people come for past life exploration. Spiritual growth, personal growth, growth in relationships, and yes, just to experience what happened in my past and then be free of certain things, at least mentally. Here are some of the reasons why people come for past life regression or past life exploration. If you have any doubts, you can write down in the comment section and we'll come back to you with some answers. Thank you.